Hello, my dear friends. Yes, your bunny is here, and I hope you're really excited to receive a reading. Are you on the right path? The theme of this reading is so important for me because I'm going again from this moment where I need to let go of something that I thought would be really important for me and change my path again just because I feel that my heart wanting to do it and I cannot refuse from my longing, from my calling. And I have to do what my heart wants me to do. Shit. This is connected to YouTube actually. I just started my new channel where I will talk on camera and discuss very important and intuitive messages for all the humanity here. So if the time doesn't exist and everything is already destined for us, then why bother with overthinking? Either it is destined for me or not. And if you enjoy the way I'm reading, you definitely will enjoy those type of videos. And let's choose your group. Today we will have for the first group the card Warrior. For the second group, the Gem. And for the third group, the Self. If you still didn't decide, I will show you all three cards together in the same moment. You can pause the video here or watch previous part of the video to decide what card is more interesting for you. I hope you're enjoying my new ears. I love them so much. They're so beautiful. They are handmade and they came from Malaysia and I waited for them for a month and a half because DHL hate me so much. But they are here and they are my power talisman now. And I'm going to use them in my videos. I hope you like my new style. And let's go to the first group. Now, this is a sudden angle group one. I bet you were not expecting it, but I just didn't like it. So let's start the reading from this angle. Your card is Warrior, and this card is going to represent your true nature of the soul. Before we begin the reading, and I'll show you two different paths between which you could decide and choose, I want to talk about your true nature because this can help you to choose your true path. And the card of the Warrior, the archetype of the Warrior, is the archetype of the samurai, the soldier, the advocate. We often envision the Warrior as an armored figure with sword in hand, moving blindly toward battle. Yet the deeper aspects of this archetype bring us face to face with death itself. The warrior stands precautiously at the edge of life and death, trusting the eternal to guide the sword's blade. The warrior's work requires presence, alignment, and purpose. If and when the warrior loses its center, meaningless confrontations and violence are their default response. When this card appears, it is important to question the battle at hand. It is likely a great one, with deep roots and long-standing tensions. The actions you take will stay with you long after the dust settles, so choose wisely, brave one. As you draw your sword, realign with the eternal wisdom within. Then surrender to the battle. When this archetype is in the light, it means fierce clarity, purposeful action, resolve and resilience. When it is in the dark, threats, savagery, abandoning mission and values. What I can say you, my dear group number one, congratulations being a warrior as me. This is not the best, not the easiest destiny, but what we can do with you, what we can do, we can only follow our destiny. We can only go forward and do our warrior shit, staying strong, staying truth, and coming back to our path no matter how many times we fall. Sometimes we have to use power on our path. Sometimes we have to use resilience and we have to be as this snake. We have to change and shift. We have to throw away our older skin that doesn't fit us anymore. This is really important. True warrior stays true to the principles of love, of the principles of their light. This is why this book recommended you to write it down. What are you fighting for? What are your values and real beliefs? Are they serving you? What actions that you're doing right now Are they aligned with your purpose or not? And I love that we have this rainbow in this card. I just see that even when the outer world looks hostile and dark and different from you, the power that you hold in your mind can bring colors to your life and to the life of others. And of course, we have this beautiful gemstone in the middle of the forehead of this animal. And I believe that it's talking about the importance of your third eye in your life of the wearer. You can be firefighter, you can be psychologist, you can be ballerina, but you have to use your third eye. You have to be aligned with your intuition if you want to continue bringing light to this world. The moments when you start feeling that you're lost in the dark, those moments you definitely close your third eye. This is why you don't see this rainbow that is inside you that should give the light to others around you. So for the purpose of this reading, I'm going to show you two paths. Path number 1 and path number 2. You are going to decide what are those paths. Maybe path number 1 is something that you already left in the nearest past, right? And path number 2 is what you just accepted. Maybe path number 1 is something that you're thinking about, and path number 2 is something that you're already on. Maybe path number 1 is something that you have no idea what is this, but path number 2 is again your current path, is what you're doing right now, and you just feel that you want to shift your and change your path, but you don't know how. So consider other option that is unknown to you. And to represent the first path, I want to draw another archetype card. And this would be the riddle. Interesting that I saw it in the beginning when I was preparing for this reading. And the second path is the starborn. Okay, let's read our explanation. By the way, please don't judge me for the fact that I'm reading the book, because I told you I literally received this deck yesterday. But then on the other side, judge me. But if you're doing it, do this in the comment section, please. So the first part is represented by the riddle, the puzzle, the question, the mystery. Oh, so maybe this is the new path in your life. When the riddle is present, one must stop searching for the right answer. It cannot be found, and ultimately it is not important. Rather, there must be a shift from the literal to metaphorical, from logic to mythic. You're thinking too small and literally about the situation. The riddle card appears when energy is deep and mysterious, like the elusive wisdom of a Zen koan. Focusing harder won't do it. Neither will increased effort. Time, surrender, and humor are your only allies. What feels like the most pressing dilemma won't reveal its deeper wisdom for a long time. Eventually, you'll learn a profound lesson from the riddle. For now, get comfortable with the limitations of your intellect and the reality of not knowing. It may, in fact, be the only reality there is. And light aspect is a great awakening or aha moment. Dark aspect, manipulation, dissent, trickery. Go deeper, practice the Buddhist I don't know mind. Ooh, basically, yeah, mystery. Definitely this path number 1 that we're talking about is, I bet, something unknown in your life. It could be even your path number 1 and path number 2. It could be the same path for you. It's just two different decisions, right? Who knows? Let's look at the stubborn for you. I said stubborn, but the name is Starborn. The divine child, the star child, the destined. Do we need to continue reading at this point? I don't know. An elusive yet radiant aspect of the self, the starborn archetype points to the cosmic spark of light that arrives with each being at birth. The moment the newborn crowns, whether vaginally or surgically, the royal stars above are said to constellate in a unique shape that maps our path in the world. The idea of destiny is controversial, yet the starborn naturally feels a sense of destination and purpose, aiming itself towards a future that is beyond the mundane. When this card appears, travel back to your birth story for clues and insight. What did you desire when you were young? Oh, it's so sweet. Practice seeing your life from a mythic point of view rather than a series of logistic. Interesting. Read the story of the three fates and envision yourself born under the stars with a unique destiny. As I said, do we need to continue reading at this point? Because the spirit is talking with me straightforwardly right now, through cards and through my inner feeling. This is the biggest message that you're going to receive maybe in this reading for today. Stop using your logic. Stop thinking about numbers and what would be good for you in 10, 15, 20 years. When you're doing a decision, you have to do it from the bigger perspective, not only from logic, because sometimes your logic serves the society, not in a good way, unfortunately. Your logic serves beliefs that work in this society. Sometimes you might feel desperate and anxious and not allowing yourself to be an artist or to be a doctor because, for example, in your culture, women are not common in those positions. And you might use logic and you might think, well, if I will try to be a doctor or an artist, people would judge me. It would be so difficult for me. I will not be able to serve my purpose well. You kind of use logic, but what you're actually using? Beliefs. And the light aspect is a light, trusting, vibrant, and aimed. And dark aspect is feeling of misalignment, loss of longing. My dear warrior, here is some deep longing for the true purpose happening here. Here is some remembering of why you came to this world happening here. And I already can tell you that both those parts, they are the truth to you. You came here for answers? No more answers today, only more questions, because for you it's so much important to ask yourself questions and to listen to your heart, to your intuition, not to your, again, beliefs, right? Because I can show you what those paths entail, what they represent, how you will feel yourself if you will choose one or the other. However, I feel that for you, in some part of your life, no matter what path you're going to choose right now, or you already chose, the other one is not lost. I just feel that the other one will open mysteriously before you somewhere in the future. So let's see what significators we have, additional significators that represent your path number 1. Hunger, consciousness, and energy. And path number 2, confidence, space, and growth. I'm telling you, I definitely feel that no matter what path you chose, you will have to go through both of those energies sooner or later. It will definitely happen for you. Path number 1, representing hunger, energy, and consciousness. I see here that the main focus of yours would be on working between those two energies, and hunger is a desire to do more, desire to receive more also. Maybe you also, as me, have some trauma of recognition, trauma of abandonment. So on this path, I see here that by learning about your void that it is inside your being, void that was caused by a trauma, you are going to use energy that is around you, around in the people. You're going to try to feel this hunger. And in the middle, we see this consciousness right beneath the riddle card that basically represents mystery. So I see here the evolution of your understanding the more thinner plane of the reality. You would be in the same moment working maybe even with the real hunger, maybe even with the real some issues with the food, for example, but this would inevitably lead you to understanding of the deeper things. Like you would start to compare your hunger for food and your hunger for passion in your work, for example, because those energies are always connected. And I see here that this mysterious path, it will show you these connections between something physical and material and between something eternal, something magical in your life. But this is definitely a level up in your spirituality that will help you to go through, and it will not be easy. I'm not sugarcoating here. It would be fucking difficult. However, this will help you to go through your hunger and your problems with energy right now. You might experience some problems with the levels of energy, right? Sometimes it's low, sometimes it's high, maybe it's always low or always high. So there is lack of balance in your life because you have this void inside you. More, I want more. I want more love. I want more, again, recognition. I want more money. What more you want? And when you need to stop, when there is enough, what is the purpose of your doing? To just receive? This is the mysterious path number 1. Path number 2 talks about very interesting situation. First of all, obviously, it is a growth in your heart chakra. It is a bloom of your heart, because this card, the Starborn, remember that it's recommended, for example, for you to look at your star chart. So again, it could be a really good suggestion for you to find, are you doing everything right, or maybe you're doing something wrong? Literally today I found a way how to look, for example, at my relationships in my star chart. I will not explain it, it's pretty long, but it's pretty easy. You can Google it, you can watch it on YouTube. And suddenly I realized that all my friends I gained on my, in my study situation. One friend in my English school, another friend in my psychological school, and another friend I found when I actually bought her lesson for editing. So basically it was, again, a school situation happening. And in my chart, you can see this. And I was really, I don't know, I felt it so inspired seeing how actually it shows itself. And I'm going to look at my career right now, and I'm I started to be more curious in this stuff. So maybe I'm looking at your chart and learning about your chart can also help you to feel more confident in your desires and accepting the path. The issues on this path obviously connected to your confidence in your growth, in the pace of your growth. We have to trust the nature that everything goes in its time, right? Trust the divine timing. But sometimes you might feel really uncomfortable and not confident at all because you think that you can move faster or further in something. Because your nature is the barrier. From the childhood, you experience huge amount of energy inside you. From the childhood, you hear from others or you just feel it in yourself that you are a powerful person. And this is why when you are on a stage of birthing, basically right now, birthing, something new happening in your life. I just see it in this cracked egg, right? This growth of the plant, when you creating something new, you cannot forcing it. Because if you will force the seed to grow, you might understand that it doesn't work for you at all. Yeah, very beautiful conclusion. With the card of the space being in the middle, this is the unknown. Again, so many unknown here, right? Here is the main card, means unknown. Here is the space. And I feel that you have the fear to the unknown. You should be mesmerized by it, because being a warrior, being a light worker, it's definitely you. I'm sure that you're a light worker. And it doesn't mean that you should read tarot or heal people with your hands. It means that when you're doing your work, you create the light that shines from you brightly, and other people feel inspired by it. You can be absolutely anyone. So by being a light worker, you are mesmerized and you are interested in mysterious thing, in dark thing, maybe even if you are a Scorpio, in some underworldly things. What are underworldly things? Those are our emotions and our desires. To be honest, nothing super extremely mysterious in this. So you have this natural interest towards the unknown. However, still, it is a huge lesson for you, and it is a huge challenge in your current situation. Whether you are between two paths or you just chose one or the other, you still scared of the unknown. And here is my huge tip for you, my dear group number 1. You're not scared of the unknown. You're scared of the thoughts about the future that might be about negative thoughts about your future. You already created some narrative in your head, some negative narrative, and you are sure that because it is the unknown, only the worst thing might happen with you. Here's the thing. You might not think it outside of your head. It could be somewhere on subconscious level. But you wouldn't be anxious about future if only you was not sure that you actually received the worst case. So by staying or choosing this path, I have no idea where you are right now. I'd be really curious, by the way, and you can post the snake emoji underneath the video, because I see that it is very trendy right now for tarot readers to ask you to post an emoji, and I like this stuff. It's very cute to see emojis in the comment section. So yeah, post the snake emoji and tell me what one of those paths is yours right now, or what you're thinking about it overall. But those lessons about confidence and growth and learning to accept the unknown and trusting that, yes, I might not see the results tomorrow, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to stop. Also, by the way, learning how to experience the space without objects and subjects, by the space itself. It's like inevitably you're learning pretty much the same thing from different perspectives. But here with consciousness, I see more maybe scientific approach, more a psychological approach, right? Maybe some therapy in work here, maybe some coaching in work here, where you can connect dots and create systems. In this part of your path, I see more spiritual, more connection to things that we cannot measure. But I will not repeat myself and tell you that both of those are parts of your path. And you will definitely need to learn both lessons. I want to use tarot cards right now to see the representation of your emotions. What you will experience in the beginning of this path number 1, for example, in the middle, and in the end of this part of your path. Let's call it like this, part of your path. What emotions predominantly would be the theme for group number 1 for this path, if they will choose or if they will stay there in the beginning of this path? We have 6 of Cups. Very positive feelings. In the middle, Knight of Swords, some conflict happening here, and in the end, the Hierophant. Ooh, definitely. This is like leveling up. This is like accepting your power. And we need to mention that we have here the Bull. I'm not sure, but I feel that it is the Bull school, and the Hierophant represented by the Bull. So I see here this truth in accepting your power, becoming more responsible before yourself, first of all. It's like before this path or before this part of your path, you knew about your power, you heard about it a lot, you thought about it a lot. But going through, I guess, this conflict situation, you would be forced to actually accept your power. Because for the warrior, right, and it is you, my love, for the warrior to be able to overcome this beast, this monster, you have to be very precise in your actions. And even if you're scared, it's okay. Being scared is normal. You have to accept your responsibility that only you can do it. And you have to go forward and act as you were taught. I see here a very important connection, and especially we have it right above the consciousness card that I described to you as I feel it as a connection to more scientific and more like, I don't know how to explain it, modern explanation of things. This is like more ancient explanation, right? Meditations, pranayama, something like this. This is more like modern explanation, something that you can study in university maybe, or you don't need to. You can actually study everything about psychology without university. Spending huge amount of money of my official education in psychology and learning where they get all this information, I realized that you actually can do it all yourself. But this is for the other video. Anyway, so I see here the importance of education. Because again, how the warrior can fight so precisely and so accurate. How the warrior learns how to overcome their fear during their education, during their training. So I see here that on this path, you will learn more the importance of discipline, stability, training, and responsibility, first of all, before yourself. Even I feel some connection to body-mind connection here, especially because we have Knight of Swords exactly, right? Swords represent our mind aspects. And I feel that this would be a conflict, a battle, first of all, between your mind and between your body, again, with your energetic levels, right? It could be that your body wants to move more, but your mind does some actions. For example, eats too much with the hunger, or drinks too much, or hang out too much. Your mind makes you do it. So your body cannot fulfill its desire to move. And here is this battle of how to find the right solution, how to give balanced solution again to your mind, to your heart, to your body. In the beginning of the reading, the only thing, in the beginning of this path, the only thing that I told you is that you will experience very positive emotions. It's going to feel as, or it already felt, it depends on where you are, as something that you're destined to. It's like this feeling of that maybe you did this in a past life. It's like remembering of the right thing to do here. Oh, by the way, if you're choosing between, for example, two partners, or being with one partner or leaving them, or like something about your relationships life, this is still the point with this Knight of Swords. This would be about your, for example, your body wants one thing, right? And your minds want the other thing, right? And you have to understand where is the truth, where is the answer. And the answer would be in concrete skills that you can use. For example, what to do when I'm overthinking, how to learn how to make the decision from my soul, not from my mind or not from my body. The shortest example would be when I'm obsessed with some guy and when I want physical connection with them, I would forget about anything. I would start lying myself or saying like, that's okay, I just want to have fun, blah, 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 blah. The only thing that can help me in this moment is my learned skills. I have to sit and I have to like basically go through mindfulness practice. I have to ask myself questions. Why I want this physical connection? What is going to happen if I will force this connection or if I will like do this? Does this person wants this with me? How can I find this? If I already know that they kind of called to me, why they're called to me? Okay, I go through so many questions, but that helps me to gain knowledge and confidence about the monster in my head. Monster of passionate desire. Let's see what emotions would be predominant for you. Oh, by the way, I asked about emotions. So basically happiness, determination, and anger. And the anger would be a good sign. It's like, I don't want it anymore. I want to change. And here, adequate adult pride, honor, I guess even. I don't know why, but I feel it. So what emotions are going to happen to you or already happening, depends on where you are. In the option number 2, let's see in the beginning. 6 of Pentacles, interesting, 6 and 6, The Chariot and 5 of Wands. Yes, 5 of Wands in the end. Okay, first, I definitely curious why we have 6 and 6 here in the beginning. Maybe because in the both beginnings of those things, it is like you will feel relieved that you chose the one. It's like you're feeling that you're on the right path. You will be glad that you decided to choose it. And for in your option, as you see, it doesn't really matter. It depends on how you resonate with my words and how you're like, yeah, I just feel that I'm closer to one or to the other option right now. Just in my heart, I just feel it. That would be the best option for you. So 6 of Pentacles, what feeling are you going to experience in the beginning of this path? Stability. And, you know, again, this feeling of you feel that you become lighter because someone is helping you. Because 6 of Pentacles is the card of help, of adequate help here. And maybe someone would help you to gain confidence in yourself, right? You will learn it from someone. So you feel lighter, maybe even because you decided to choose one option. And in this moment, you already feel more comfortable and confident. In the middle of your path, also a bit fierce energies here. Look, even the pictures have the same vibe kind of here. But if we have Knight of Swords in this part, here we have the Chariot, which is all exactly in this deck is like marine creatures, right? So much water, and this water is not calm at all. And we have the moon here. I definitely feel that this is a connection to again, what's happening under the surface of the water, what's happening in your subconscious space card, right? Even it's so beautiful. What's happening with your emotions? So I see here that in the middle of this path or part of your path, you will be overflown with so much energy, with so much emotions. You will suddenly, like those marine horses in your heart, they will just erupt suddenly, and you will just suddenly experience those storm of emotions. You will open your heart so much, and they are also green, and green is a heart color, right? And this is definitely a path that will open your heart. And here's the thing. If we were blocking our heart for many, many years, if we were not allowing ourselves to experience emotions, what will happen? The moment when we will try to open our heart, this will happen. Right? So it could be scary. I know it. But then on the other side, when you actually doing what you have to do, when you actually feel that this is the right thing, you can overcome anything. You can like ride such a huge waves, and you can actually use them for purpose. Because we see here this, I think it's a mermaid, right? Yeah. And interesting that it's a shark mermaid, half shark. So I see that this is a representation of powerful person, powerful character that is not scared to try to use this water horse. Forgive me for my English, it's okay. And I see here that this is you, obviously. This is you, the one who actually using those currents of your emotions, actually learning that you are not unstable, you are not crazy, you are not strange. You are extremely powerful and you need to use those energies. Remember that you are the warrior. And what are your powers? What are your energies? Your emotions, your desires, your determination, your knowledge. You can use all of this. When this part of your path would go to an end, to the finish stage, before it will transfer to something else, right? You will experience a thrill, excitement, passion, and gamble. I don't know why it translated like gamble. Anyway, excitement, yeah, passion maybe. It's like usually Five of Wands represents the not so much real conflict, or maybe we can say that it would be like social games. It's like playing a war, not a real war, right? And in this deck, it's the same thing, kind of those tigers that they are kind of fighting, but there is no blood. There is no real harm that they're causing to each other. It's like blind game because they feel that they want to do it and they have to do it. Why, I have no idea. Maybe it's like social situation, right? Something that forces you to play a game. But because you were able to overcome this storm inside you and you gained another level of power here, I see that these social games, they allow you to actually grow. If you the type of the person who is suffering from social games, who is tired from people who are lying and who are not sincere, I see here that closer to the end of this chapter, you will learn how to use social games. Because even if we're trying to be extremely sincere, even if we're trying to be honest and to be adult in everything that we're doing, we have to understand that we live in the real world where people use their child actions, where people use their child strategies and their games and their rules. And we have to know where we can follow those rules, kind of play this game to be able to maybe even gain someone's trust, to come closer to them, or to go through some obstacle in our life. And when we have to step out from those rules, and where we have to speak up and show that this is not right. Because if we will be not stubborn, but stubborn, if we would be too stubborn, we definitely will miss the ability to be resilient, ability to be shifting and changing and moving with the pace of the life. We can be honest with our values and we can continue following them. However, it doesn't mean that we should blindly trust in those values. We should always look around and see what would be the best and beneficial thing for myself, first of all, and for others around me. And I see here that you're learning this ability how to communicate with others on a more surface level, not profound level. However, it helps you to become more successful person in day-to-day interactions. They don't take so much energy out of you anymore. Like you're chilling out. You're allowing people to be stupid, okay? Let's put it like this. And this is a very important skill, to allow the world be as it is right now, to accept the reality as it is right now, and to sometimes kinda play their games, but always knowing what and why you're doing right now. Not losing yourself. Here's the thing. You're learning here a skill, how to not lose yourself in the game. And even if you experience a conflict, you don't experience it on such deeper level as you were before, because you start to understand that, oh yeah, this person actually acting like this because they were raised in this culture where their mother was like not accepting or something. It doesn't matter. Or this person did not express their feelings to me because again, they were raised in this culture. You start to understand that there is more in the behavior of people rather than just what you thought before about them. And I want to use Chakra Oracle to see what the final advice Spirit has for you in your current situation right now. Okay, we have Cosmic Consciousness with 7th chakra, Expansion with 5th chakra, and play with, I believe it is 2nd chakra. Right now, currently in your life, you definitely have to play more. You forget about your hobbies. And if you don't have any hobbies, this is a suggestion from Spirit right now for you to find one. Don't think a lot about it. Just do what you were thinking about. I see here a flute. I see here a bow. I see here... I'm not sure. I think it's a shell, sea shell. This could be important for you somehow. And we see here chimera, elephant, and cows. So basically, I love the chimera actually. I'm not sure what exactly it means in the oracle, but I feel that this is a need to do different things, to collect your reality from many, many different aspects. If you're always doing something, every time you're doing the same thing, every day you're thinking about the same thing, about your job or about your relationships, doesn't matter. You have to allow the absolutely different perspective to enter your life. Do something unexpected. Expand your horizons. Because it is connected to our throat chakra, I can definitely tell you that you need to talk more. You need to express yourself more through speech. Maybe for some of you it would be about singing or just talking with others. It could be even about games. Again, talking with others, maybe on Discord. But the idea, overall suggestion here is to do the action that you either didn't do for a long time already and you were thinking about it, or start something absolutely new but not serious. It should not be something serious, it should be something only for fun, and it should be something from creativity, creation. Even if we're talking about computer games, for example, try to play a game where there would be other people, or try to play a game where you need to create something, to build something. This will just help to move your energies and shift them. However, if you have problems with games, obviously, please don't do it right now. Another game won't really help you. You need to shift your perspective to something unexpected, like this elephant trunk that grows from the lion. Okay, it should be something new and something that you didn't expect for a long time already. Definitely music can help right now in your current situation. And dancing. I also feel this movement. It could help to shift your stagnant energy if you feel that you're trapped right now in your thoughts and in your fears that could be connected to the question of are you on the right path or not. Don't forget to talk about your emotions, and don't forget to meditate about your emotions also. If you feel that you're lost and you're not really sure what you're actually feeling towards someone or something, sit still, maybe turn on some Indian flute if you're up to this, and literally create an intention in yourself. Say it out loud. I want to understand my emotions towards this person. And then after it, I allow myself to understand those emotions, like I allow universe to show me what is the truth. And then just sit there in quietness, and then just open your mind and allow absolutely everything to happen. Don't think thoughts specifically. Just allow them to emerge and don't like catch them in your attention. Allow them to move. And they will shift and they will move. You might feel some energy inside your body. You might feel some energy inside your head. All of those little things should be important for your attention to create this puzzle and to understand the right answer. Or maybe if you are a channeler or someone who is more connected to spirituality, obviously just talk to your guides in any possible way that you know. Your guides will help you. I think those were all messages for you, my dear group number 1. Wasn't it amazingly cool? In my opinion, it was. And you know why? Because I accepted my heart desire, as I said in the beginning of the reading in this intro, that I have to follow my truth path. I am not sad that this tarot channel will not be my first prerogative anymore. I definitely understand that it was a huge important step in my development as a YouTuber, and I still going to do those readings, but only when I feel so. And YouTube will see how it will react on this kind of schedule from me, because I'm afraid and I'm scared that YouTube needs 1 video per week. I have no idea how it will show itself. But if you're not subscribed, subscribe, please. Literally, I'm trying to gain thousands of followers till the end of the year. And you can really help me with this. And I see you next readings. Bye. Welcome, my beautiful group number 2. You decided to choose the gem. And this card was really impactful on me because I drew it when I asked myself a few days ago what this part of my life bringing to me, what lesson it's bringing to me, and it touched my heart a lot. But in your reading, this card means your true self, your real, deep aspects of your personality, who you are in this lifetime. And by watching on this card, by reading about it, obviously we will read because it's a new deck for me, we will have more deeper understanding of what works for you and what doesn't work for you. So maybe it will help you to choose between your 2 paths, because for example in group 1 there was no so easy answer on this question, to be honest. So let's read about your deeper aspects of your personality. The gem, the diamond, the gold, the inner treasure. There are infinite names for the gem. It is also known as the jewel, the star, the talent, the gift, the gold. One thing for certain is that it is found deep within a substance that is very much unlike it. For example, a diamond in the rough. The gem always stands in contrast to its surroundings. You can't find it when you are among comforts and pleasantries. Precious stones develop slowly deep in the earth amid pressure and darkness. Discovering the gem requires a descent beneath the surface when there is no definitive map. Yet the longing to touch the true gem within us is so strong that we cannot help but seek out its radiance. Your gem, like your destiny, is unlike any other in the entire world. Keep digging. The moments of your life that glimmer are clues to where the gem resides. Don't covet the sparkling diamond of another. The gem is like a fingerprint, never to be repeated again. Find yours. In mythology, the diamond is often linked to the daemon, or inner light, that leads us towards our true self, our purpose, and our destiny. And when this archetype in the light aspect, it means unique, shining, generative, irreplaceable. When dark, envy, greed, grasping. My dear group number 2, you know what? I resonate with you, that's the truth, but also I just feel how difficult it is for you to hold this knowledge about the diamond that resides inside you. You know, you feel, you want to trust that you have this beautiful talent, one in a million, that you have your true life purpose. If only not negative beliefs that society arranged around you, you maybe could have found it earlier. That's what you think, but right now you're unsure. Even if those of you who already know their truth, longings, and desires, still the indecisiveness and the unknown sometimes make you feel not in the best place. I might not understand why you're watching this video, to be honest, because for you, it is always a question, am I doing it right? Will it help me to open my talent more? Or will it help me to be genuine, first of all, towards my heart, towards myself? Because I see in this gem exactly, actually, to be honest, your heart. It is not about how you can draw or how you can talk with others so that they can start to understand their problems. For example, if you're a counselor, right? It's not about your gift. It's about your heart. When your heart is in the right place, you can create miracles. That's what I see. And what is important to understand, even if around your gem, there is so much of those scary things. I don't know. It looks like worms or something really disgusting. But even if around there is darkness, the light always shines brightly in your heart. And you can find and tap into the energy of your gem, of your love, at any given point of time. Anyway, let's look deeper into your cards for today. We will compare two options here. Option number 1 and option number 2. It could be that you right now in option number 1, path number 1, you're quite some time already there and you're thinking about changing something, thus creating path number 2. Maybe you just stepped into path number 2, you just changed something and you want to be sure that you did everything right. I don't know what does those paths mean for you personally, you would know better. But know that number 1 and number 2 doesn't mean timeline sequence. It doesn't mean that path number 1 should be previous path and path number 2 should be next path. No. It could be that you're living in path number 2 right now. In option. Let's call it option. Yeah, I think it would be easier. It might be that I'm describing option number 2 and that this is exactly what you're going through right now. And you know that you need to change something, but you don't know even what to change. So basically option number 1 would demonstrate you your path after you will do the change. So let's look at option number 1 for you. And we have the bridge and option number 2. Option number 2 got 2 cards. Interesting. The mirror and agape. Oh, wow. I remember something about agape. And definitely it's from what? Anime? Yuri on Ice, obviously, yes. Mm-hmm. Let's see what we have in the book about your path. I already see here, just by looking at the picture of this bridge, right? This option entails connections, human connections, communications, help. It feels like card 6 of Pentacles for me. The bridge, the connection, the link, the gate. Bridges are built to connect two worlds. They create flow, allowing us to travel between realms, ideologies, and personalities. This archetype is the gesture of acceptance, of saying yes rather than withdrawing, separating, and saying no. When we cross a bridge to an unknown land, we are led magically into a new reality. We open up to otherness. Healing and communication are made possible. We enter a state of curiosity, wonder, and learning. The shaman, for example, creates the bridge between the everyday world and the sacred. These cards ask us to study the connections between the seemingly disconnected parts of our life, relationships, ideologies, and histories. Remember that a bridge couldn't be forced. It must be made with love, or its structure will not withstand the inevitable weather of life. When light, acceptance, magic, communication. When dark, lacking boundaries, forcing connection. As I said, obviously, it is about communication. It is about connecting dots. If you are editor or counselor, or maybe even someone who works in a medical field, like you need to make evaluations or diagnosis, I feel here that this option will increase your skills in those aspects of life. Kinda. It doesn't mean that should be straightforwardly connected, or maybe it is. Maybe you're thinking about going to psych school or not. But here I definitely feel this ability to connect dots, connect energies, see those links between the result and the cause. Also, just because, I don't know, this bridge looks like rainbow, for some of you, I feel that this path will open your personality and your self-identity here, right? Finding that you are the full rainbow, not just one color. And it could be connected to your sexuality or gender, or it could not. Our identity contains so many different aspects, but I see here that this option definitely either already had a huge impact on you if you are in this option right now, in discovering your identity, who you are really, what is the truth of you, and seeing that you are not only one option, right? You are not only one thing. You are very, very different, and you don't need to be extremely limited by only one name, or it will has an impact on this part of your life if you will choose this option. This is about free speech. This is about games of mind in a good way, like, for example, studying psychology, right? Or philosophy. As I said, connecting dots, definitely finding the link between your mind, your body, and your soul also. That's what this option entails. Here we see the mirror and agape. Even by looking on the names of those cards, I already can tell you that this is about reflections in others and the true love. Everything that you see in others is everything that you already have in yourself, as good as bad. And all love that you are searching for is inside you right now already. And others will demonstrate you as much love as you already accepting in yourself and allowing yourself to experience. That was maybe just an important message for you overall, but I feel that those energies in this option are very important. So the mirror, the reflection, the illusion, the looking glass. We look into mirrors every day without recognizing them as portals into another realm. They can shatter, flatter, distort, reflect, and project an image back to us that we deem to be true. The energy of the mirror is all about self-perception. When the archetype of the mirror appears, we are in the mythic land of Narcissus, who saw himself reflected in a pool and fell in love with his own image. So compelled by his reflection, he could not turn away, a fixation that eventually led to his death. Recognize the power and danger of the mirror. It is a construct, one that may drive a shard between you and your true self. The mirror contains trickster energy. Put the phone down, stop with the comparisons, and let the mirror stand empty for a while. Rest with the one side. When light, witnessing the deeper self, pure awareness. When dark, narcissism, comparison, harsh ages. Wow, it's so cool. I read here the profound work with your definitely addiction, maybe to social media, as we already read in the book, but also it is this addiction to compare yourself to others, right? To look on the world through the mirror and being scared to actually turn your gaze away from the mirror and look at what is happening in reality. Maybe you're trying to protect yourself by looking in the mirror. But your fears, they are mostly connected to your beliefs that you already created in yourself earlier. And let's look at the agape. So for those of you who didn't No, Eros and Agape are two representations of love, and Agape is about unconditional love, while Eros is about passion, right? We have Eros here. Yes, sensuality, erotism. But Agape is about devotion and unconditional love. What if instead of putting yourself at the center of your spiritual practice, you put God, Goddess, or nature at the center? How would this change your approach? Such is the energy of the Agape. It is alive when we are in awe and wonder, our breath taken away by the sacred force that surrounds us and asks for nothing in return. This card can indicate a spiritual initiation that stretches your capacity to love and serve. You sense the earthly as the heavenly and vice versa. Such an initiatory moment can appear in any form, and like a healing balm to the modern soul, its effects last a lifetime. The Agape card may also suggest you reassess what you worship every day, consciously or unconsciously. What are you elevating? Where does the sacred ladder you climb ultimately lead to? The Greek word agape informs the English words agape. To have the mouth agape is to be awestruck by something of breathtaking delight. We are made humble once again. Wow, that's so interesting. Love to learn more about different translations. A very deep spiritual work here we see. And also I see that this card basically represents what above, as above, as below, right? And we have mirror here. It could be that those are reflections. Definitely what's inside you is reflected in others always. Like light that you're holding in your heart reflects in others. And this path will help you to learn it on a much deeper level that you can understand right now. This path would contain maybe some heartbreaks that are so much needed for us to break the spell of those beliefs that governing us right now. This is about relationships with the self, first of all, obviously, and how your relationships with the self would be reflected outside. This card also, we just read, talks about the divine, right? If you don't work with the divine, this part of your path will not force you, but lead you to do it, right? Or maybe you're already on this part of the path. I don't know it, right? You know better. Maybe you already feel that you exhausted all those lessons here and you want to go into this path, or vice versa. Let's look deeper with the Prism Oracle. What are main lessons? What are main perks of each of those options for you? Important. Things that you need to know: determination, pain, and mystery. And for the second one, we have the flow, sadness, and anxiety. Yeah, I felt it, definitely. Important note, my dear group number 2, even if, for example, you're thinking about this path, those cards doesn't mean that it is bad path, right? Like the lessons that we're going through, they're so much needed for us. We can not only be in the kind and happy place always, but it doesn't matter. I will just read for you what I see here, and you always decide yourself. I was not expecting to have these 2 cards here. What can I say about the reading? Maybe you would or you were not also expected to have so much big lessons here on this path. So definitely this option entails determined and mysterious way through acceptance of the pain. Learning about the pain is an important part of everyone's life. Some people continue avoiding the pain till death. Some people suffer and hate it so much, closing their eyes and again suffer. But I see here with this bridge, your ability to create again bridges between this world and other world, the real reasons, the real consequences. And you here on this path, you start to accept your pain on much deeper level, even physical pain. If you're experiencing some chronic pains, I see here that your determination and your ability to open new sources of knowledge For example, maybe you learn how to work with the energies of your chakras, or you learn how to do breath work, or you learn any other skill. There are so many different skills how to work with physical and mental pain, both. I see that the pain becomes your friend. You learn why it's happening with you. You learn what does it mean for you. And you become so much stronger here. This is also about the pain of rejection. I just suddenly heard this word. Maybe because this little part of your path or option entails those connections, building true connections, going through the pain of the lie. Definitely you will use a lot of your determination here. It's like I see the goal and I'm going towards it. I'm going towards it, and no matter how painful it is for me, there would be a lot of unknown happening here. There would be a lot of situations where you won't be able to understand why you made this decision or how those synchronicities just happen to be there. But this would be this mystery that help you to be entertained during your path. With this part, flow, sadness, anxiety, so much of water here, water everywhere, even with the Agapa card, even with the mirror and the moon, just feel how full of emotions this path. Again, you're learning to, or learned, I will say it in the real time, right? Not in the past time, just because it's difficult. So you're learning to go with the flow and sometimes understand that anxiety and sadness can exist while you're actually continue living your life. If you compare yourself to the rules of this world or to others or to the success of others, anxiety is inevitable for you. If you build obstacles on your path, for example, you complaining that you have ADHD and this is why you cannot follow your time, no matter what circumstances you have right now. You have to acknowledge those circumstances. You have to work from them. And if you have ADHD and you cannot follow time, then you have to create a system that will help you doing it. It doesn't mean that you will be able 100% to follow it, I understand. However, sitting and complaining and transferring responsibility on your circumstances won't help you to overcome your anxiety and sadness. Also, the card of the sadness says that basically, as a weather, it is inevitably changed. So I see here this learning, this big lesson of accepting the fact that you cannot stay in the same state emotionally forever. And I feel that you might even enjoy sadness in some way, but you need to understand when it is okay to cry and when it is okay to, again, allow the change to happen. And if you experience any problems connected to depressive states, then I see that in this path, in this option, you are forced to learn more about those states and to understand what has an impact on them and what can help you to overcome them. More or less, this part of this option feels as more profound and heavy. I just feel this energy, and it's even more difficult for me to talk about this part of the reading because deeper traumas surfacing themselves here. That's what I read. Now I want to use tarot cards to see what emotions you can experience in the beginning, middle, and closer to the end of this part of option. Let's put it like this. So in the first option, we have in the beginning, Ace of Cups, a lot of emotions, obviously, Nine of Wands, determination still, and the Strength closer to the end, like your overall results, emotional results. Definitely this, I feel that this part or this option was or is so desired. So many emotions, so many desires. I want to do it. I definitely know that it will help me. There are some anxieties, but your determination is what helps you to go towards your dream, towards your goal. This is something very powerful here. And even when you meet your main villain in this story, right? This pain inside you that might block you, that might make you more tired, still, exactly this Nine of Wands, we don't actually see that she is beaten. Usually on many Nine of Wands, we see that character is actually beaten because they fought their battles and they have the consequence. Here, and even in the description of this card, this lady, she's determined to continue her path no matter how tired she is. She's like, I know what it takes and I'm going forward. I don't care. And she was pretty successful not to earn any harm during the previous part of her path. With the Strength, what I can tell you, my group number 2, mwah, we see how she kisses the beast. The Strength is about compassion. It is about tenderness towards your beast. It is about understanding your dark side, your shadow side, and accepting it and allowing it to be alive and creating this love bond between your light and your dark side, creating this bridge, the main bridge that basically I think you are destined to create in this option. Let's look about emotions. This is between extreme happiness and extreme fear, thrill of emotions. This is about determination and this is about love. Let's look at the second option. We have the Empress, Judgment, and Page of Pentacles. With the Empress, there is about the flow. I see that in the beginning of this path, your emotions would be very balanced. It's like knowing what to do. I feel energy of Queen of Cups here somehow. I don't know, I read it, but it is more grounded. Just look at this Empress. She is a warrior. She don't give a shit. She knows what to do to protect and to go forward if needed. Like her hand is on her dagger here. So I feel that in the beginning of this path, you ready to fight. But then on the other side, you know how to go with the flow, right? So it's like this very good balance between your desires and between the circumstances that happening around you here. With the Judgment in the middle of the path, self-doubt and understanding of spirituality. Definitely in this part, the spiritual path is so important for you. You see how kinda it feels, it looks like a crack on her forehead. I know that it's something that she drew, indicating her third eye, but it also feels like a crack, so it's like third eye opening. It doesn't feel really good. We have a sadness underneath, because, you know, first wave of understanding of self-realization, it is usually connected to tears. Because when I suddenly understand why I was doing this all those years, I can cry, and it is normal and it is good to cry, because all those tears, they just come out. So I see here that this sadness is just liberating tears that you're crying here that help you to clear your vision, your third eye. With the Page of Pentacles that are beautifully contradicts anxiety here, I feel that closer to the end of this path, you will feel more stable and grounded. You will understand that it's still the beginning. You did so much job here. You did everything that you could, and you thought that you were evolved that much, but no, this was just the beginning. That helped you to become more stable, that helped you to have better impact on your material side of the world. Either it could be your career, or maybe it could be creating a family, something that is basically not only on the words, but in real results here and now before you that you can touch. At least. And to finish your reading, I want to ask Spirit for some current suggestions for you that might help you to, again, make a decision or just overall feel better. What are current suggestions? Truth, fear, and fortune. Yellow color in this deck represents our root chakra. I definitely feel that there is a big suggestion for you to work with your root chakra, with your body, cleanse your body. Try to make sure that you, at least in the next few days, eat food that actually nourishes you and help your digestion here. You have some fear for your security right now. Maybe it is connected to your job, like to financial situation. If it is something that it is connected to other people in your life, universe asks you to tell the truth, to not be afraid to go and talk with someone who can help you. This is really, really important. If someone harasses you in any way, even if you feel that it's not so big, it doesn't mean that they can do it. Please be careful and please find a way how to talk about your current situation if there is some other people involved. If this is a fear that is more connected to, to your anxiety, right? For example, something that it's not so easy to solve in one moment, then universe wants you to look at the other side of the situation, not being so focused only on negative aspect. Because you see, fortune number 5, fear number 6, they are connected to each other. They are near. And to be honest, this card actually represents the overcoming of the fear. You need to focus on positive aspects, not to close your eyes on negative, but to see both situations in the same time, what positive aspects you have. What if actually everything will happen in the right way? You need to work with, again, this trust to the universe and maybe to do some rituals for fortune. The truth entails also your ability to actually see the truth and speak the truth. Because when we are over focused only on negative side, it doesn't mean that we're that much realistic, because two opposites are still opposites, and you have to be in the middle in this situation. To see the truth means to see both positive and negative aspects, so please try to work on this during your next few days. And maybe try to focus on something that is closer to you. If you're over focusing on your decision right now, if you're always thinking only about this, what I need to choose, option 1 or option 2, then it would be good for you, as I said in the beginning of this part, to connect to your body on a more mindful level. It depends on you and how you're already connecting with your body. But if, for example, you do a lot of workouts, then try to do something that will help you to relax, or quite the opposite. It depends on what your body needs right now. And those are all messages for you, my dear group number 2. Please leave the emoji of the diamond down below, because of course you're my gem group and I want to see who decided to choose this group. And we're going to see each other in the next readings. Bye. Welcome group 3. Your card for today is the Self, and this beautiful card is going to represent your truth and core personality. Knowing about this thing is important when you're trying to make any decision in your life, because basically if you stay true to your personality, then no matter how this decision looks for someone else, right? And I'm going to read the description from the Oracle book. The Self, the soul, the witness, the watcher. The Self is the prism that allows the spectrum of our personalities to radiate. It does not judge, prohibit, suppress, or oppress any of its parts, as it lovingly knows that all aspects have a time and a place, and lead us to experience the full breadth of life's offerings. The Self is the central, abiding container, the awareness of the infinite universe of possibilities. When this card appears, it is a call to step back into witness consciousness, to observe yourself navigating the world. Ask yourself, am I the stew or am I the chief? In most situations, our ego drowns us into the cauldron where we swirl, spin, and smolder in chaos. Yet the Self is a graceful culinary dancer, watching, waiting, observing as the spectrum of ingredients become the flavor of our life. Look in the mirror for 30 seconds or more. Attempt to see the you behind you. When light, witnessing, accepting new aspects of self. When dark, disjoint, fatigue, diffused energy and purpose. If this card is perplexing for you, you are on the right track. It challenges you to expand our sense of identity beyond the little self, and the ego resists such movement. I just love this archetype deck because it can answer any question. We don't need to use any other cards. We can just draw one card and the answer is there. So I see here that your natural self, like your true nature, your core nature, is in being different and changing over time in many, many different aspects. You always stay true to your core self, but outside you like to change your styles, even clothes, homes, people around you. Everything shifts. And it's normal for you. It's how you live this life fullest. But don't be discouraged and afraid of your desire to change, of your desire to move forward and shift and experience more different aspects of your life. This is what helps you to witness the real truth inside you. Seeing so many different aspects of the world, reflecting them back, you start to see your true self, your core, better. Because everything that we experience inside, we see it outside us in reflections. And being a person who is interested in so many different things, being such a world persona, I guess, you are not bound by only one culture. You're not bound by only one perspective, even maybe by only one gender. You are very, very encompassing. You contain in yourself the whole beauty of the universe, and this is why you might feel sometimes that it's difficult for you to sustain yourself and to hold yourself on one path. This card tells you that you are on the right path. When you switch your paths, it doesn't mean that you are doing something wrong. I know how difficult it could be, especially if you might experience some problems with attention, for example, to stay on track. The thing that I can recommend you is to learn concrete psychological and spiritual instruments that would help you to quiet your mind and quiet your huge amount of desires, right? Because being passionate is a good thing, but being not able to contain your passion and basically being a slave of your desires will always end up in somewhat suffering. However, you can have all those desires and you can create, I believe in this, you can create amazing structure in your life that could help you to fulfill all desires in the right time. But to be able to do it, being such an energetic and inspired person who is so much interested in so many different things, you have to understand that this, your unique trait, has to be addressed carefully. And you have to actually spend time on how to learn how to work with your urges, how to help yourself go through slumps sometimes when you already lose interest to something. So this is a lifelong story, right? This is your maybe main lesson for this life, to learn how to accept all this energy inside you and to learn how to appreciate being so different every time. You change with every season. You even change with the time of the day. In the morning, you're one person. In the nighttime, you're absolutely different person. And learning about yourself, accepting all those differences inside you, and knowing what are weaker and stronger sides of all of those personalities, maybe even, this is your job. This is what you have to do. If the world seems cruel and too difficult for you, that means that you still didn't learn how to use something that you were born with. And I want to take two more cards from this deck. We are going to look at the option 1 and option number 2. You know better what's option 1 and what option number 2 would mean when you hear the description of those options. It could be that option number 2 is the path that you're currently in right now, and you're thinking about other option. It could be option number 1. Don't be misled by numbers, right? It's just for the purpose of this reading, so it could be easier for me to distinguish 2 different options or 2 different paths. It could be that you just decided to shift and you just started walking down the path number 2, option number 2, and option number 1 is something that you left in the nearest past. And you can compare those things. You know, again, your situation better. Let's see what's option number 1 for you. The threshold. Ooh. Such a strong energy from this card, I feel it. And option number 2. Okay, this one. Agape. Interesting. We had this in our second group, also interesting. So the threshold, the door, the gate, the initiation. We cross thresholds continually, consciously and unconsciously. Doorways, gates and entryways grace our path on a daily basis. When this card arises, it signifies that the precipice you stand upon is not your typical one, however. You have arrived at the threshold of initiation here to usher you into a new reality. It requires you to leave behind the you that you thought was so well formed. A new frontier calls. This is not easy work. Threshold initiation means a part of you will be lost in order to make space for what is next. A metaphorical death must occur. Some may not recognize you. You may struggle to recognize yourself. The ground seems to crumble as you free fall into your new reality. This is the liminal realm. One step, dear friend, just take that one necessary step forward the future that calls you. When light, growth, individuation is in the liminal. When dark, resisting, refusal to grow, barriers and boundaries. I could be wrong, of course, but it looks like this is the new path or other option that you are not on right now. But again, I could be wrong. Agape, devotion, unconditional love. What if instead of putting yourself at the center of your spiritual practice, you put God, Goddess, or nature at the center? How would this change your approach? Such is the energy of agape. It is alive when we are in awe and wonder, our breath taken away by the sacred force that surrounds us and asks for nothing in return. This card can indicate a spiritual initiation that stretches our capacity to love and serve. You sense the earthly as the heavenly and vice versa. Such an initiatory moment can appear in any form, like a healing balm to the modern soul. Its effects last a lifetime. The Agape card may also suggest you reassess what you worship every day, consciously or unconsciously. What are you elevating? What does the sacred ladder you climb ultimately lead to? When light, service, reverence, honor, and joy. When dark, spiritual bypassing, righteousness. I hope I read this word right. So with Agape path option, I see definitely here were many lessons about ego and the truth. And it is a huge spiritual growth, understanding about your even self, right? Narcissism is always about self, and understanding what are the true forces, what is the real deal here in the world. It's like learning about opening eyes on the real world, as if a character who lived in their little village, they grew up and they accepted a new challenge and they went traveling the world, and they suddenly realized that all the troubles they had in their little village, they are so small and so unimportant for them right now after they saw this big world. This option contains lessons about acceptance, and this option contains lessons about surrender. this is very, very spiritual option, spiritual path here. With a lot of, let's be honest, with many, many tears and with many, many situations where you felt or can feel helpless and tired and as if nothing will ever change. But this pain, those tears, they are liberating because they are the symptoms of the ego death. And they are so much needed for those of us who still didn't learn about their true self, who still wear all those masks without understanding that they are there. And again, if I'm not describing you, if you're already pretty far in your healing journey, that could mean that this was or this is the path that you were quite some time already. It feels like this is actually the past path and this is the new path. This is really interesting for me, group number 3. If you're here, first, could you please comment down below the candle emoji and also write down what option number 1 is the new path that you're considering or just step on or not, or it was opposite. Let's look at the Prism Oracle to look deeper at what are the most important themes in both of those options for you. We have comfort, cleanse, and sweetness. Such a sweet energy here happening. And for option number 2, we have happiness, success, and protection. So warm energies here, such a different energy compared to previous groups. So with the threshold option and the cleanse being in the middle between comfort and sweetness, I see that this is a threshold of your burnout. It's like here, this fire, I just feel it. So basically, it's like reaching the point where you don't give a shit about anything anymore, whereas you become so tired from some situation or from all of what's happening with you that you decide to step over your, again, maybe ego, maybe some beliefs, and you're like, that's enough. That's enough. I don't want to suffer again. I'm so tired from overthinking. I'm so tired from what doesn't work for me. I want to clean all of this. I want to detoxify my body. I want to detoxify my social circle, right? Something in your life that drained all your energy for quite some time already. Maybe it could be that there were several different situations. You're deciding to break through your comfort zone that was holding you back, and you're deciding to do huge cleanse. And this means to say no to people whom you were always agreed with. That means to say no to yourself, to your huge desire to do some action that previously was your comfort action, for example. This is a re-evaluating of again, what is comfort and what gives you sweetness in this life? If you experiencing problems with some addictive, dependable behavior, especially if it is connected to food, consuming something, right? I see here that in this option, you would be led to this huge cleanse and to understanding of where is the truth, comfort, true comfort and sweetness resides. You are learning new ways how to help yourself in a more healthier way. You're learning new ways how to be stronger and more compassionate, first of all, towards yourself. If this option is connected to your career choice, maybe you're choosing between careers, right? I see here, because this cleanse card is a blue color and it is connected to voice, I see here this ability to speak clearer. And like your messages would be stronger, either messages through your voice or for any other mean. It depends on your career, right? So it's like creating, cleansing your ability to communicate with the outer world through your work. If this is connected to relationships, I already told you, right? It's about creating strong boundaries, cleansing everything, maybe for some time being in a hermit mode, respecting, first of all, your desire of comfort and your desire of sweet moments, opening in yourself this ability to appreciate time staying alone or to appreciate little sweet moments. If you were greedy in past, really greedy for time with others, with your close people, here choosing this option and going forward, I see that closer to the end of this path, you are really opening this thankfulness and appreciation for absolutely every little bit of sweetness with your people, or absolutely every bit of sweetness with yourself, with your work, right? Something that is on your mind, something where you feel scared right now that I might not always experience positive emotions going towards this. I might suffer, I might be jealous or greedy. You might, as absolutely every person could, and it's normal. However, on the other side, if you want to learn to appreciate everything that's happening with you, you could do it going through your threshold of your comfort zone, accepting the work on yourself, cleaning your environment also. It could talk about cleaning your environment, absolutely. This second option with happiness, success, and protection, big lessons, big and beautiful lessons were learned or could be learned choosing this option. I definitely feel this like link between protection and happiness. The lessons in these options are about protecting your mental state, first of all, because without strong boundaries and strong protection, you cannot experience the truth of happiness. And even if you have a success, it could be draining if in this moment you feel attacked mentally or spiritually. And you could be attacked by your own negative thoughts, by your own overthinking, right? Or you could be attacked by other people. It could be obviously connected to the real physical protection lessons that you can or learned already in option number 2. The theme of the success is opposing the theme of the agape here, because sometimes if we focused on the success and we try to achieve it by any means, we forget about the trust to God, the love of God, the ability to go with the flow. We could be blighted. Is this a word? We could feel blind. We could be blind towards the reality around us, and this is important again to work with our ego here. This, I told you already, this is a big theme. Accepting that nothing happens in this, like in one day, especially some huge success, right? Even if you're a perfect manifestation, yes, I feel here a lot of work on manifestation and creation, how to achieve what you want, how to change the universe towards your desires. You can be a very successful manifester, but it doesn't mean that you can literally bend material reality around you. Not the same. This is not the level of power that you contain currently right now. Who knows, maybe you'll be the one and perfect mage. But right now, no. And I feel here this frustration while you were walking this path and learning this manifestation. I continue talking in the past about this part. I'm sorry if it's if it's the wrong thing. But the idea here is to find this middle ground between being happy in the moment here right now and being absolutely, fully and totally thankful for everything that you have, and being able to strive for something that you still don't have in your life. I'm fully accepting and I'm absolutely happy with my situation right now, and I want to continue writing my story in this way. This is how you basically should manifest, obviously. You should have this feeling of heaven on earth, right, in your heart. When you manifest something, when you speak out loud your desires or write them down, they say, and I agree with this absolutely, that you have experience in this moment this feeling of total acceptance, thankfulness, and love in your heart. In this moment when you ask or you demand or you manifest something that is still not in your material plane. And now let's look at some tarot cards to see what are the emotions that are connected to each of those options you'd experience in them, in the beginning, in the middle, and in the end. We will put it like this. In the beginning of the option number 1, what group 3 my experience? 2 of Swords, which should obviously be connected to the card of the threshold, right? In the middle, the Hangman. This is about, and the closer to the end of this part of your path, you have Queen of Wands. So this Hangman is definitely about this reevaluation, full 180 turn to see the truth. At last, to accept that no, even if I love this person, even if we have strong relationships, if I continue hanging out with them in the same way how we're doing this right now, I continue destroying my dream. I continue destroying myself. It's like people pleasing. You could experience, yes, with the card of the self here, one of the major themes in your life could be people pleasing because you lose yourself near others. And sometimes you feel as if you don't have the real self, as if everything inside you is collected from the pieces of others. And in some way, it's truth. It's actually truth, because pretty much everything that we can think is connected to the culture that we were raised in. And culture, not only our nationality, but culture of our family, culture of our school, culture of our workplace, and of our friends. All those cultures, they create our personality outside, how we, the language that we speak, the perception that we have. But again, as I said, the true self never changes, and the true self is your strong and huge desire to learn about this world, to learn about people, to travel, to experience many, many different things. This is who you are. You are the person who have to experience all of this. So to be able to be free with your desires and to be able to, again, see all this world and experience all those things, you have to learn that you are number one in your life, and people pleasing never help you to develop good relationships. People pleasing always ends up in the conflict. Maybe not in the moment when you do the people pleasing action, but like few actions later after it definitely will always results in a conflict, because you feel bad when you people please. And when other people do not appreciate enough your act of people pleasing, you feel even worse. So with this Hangman, I see here this, both Two of Swords and Hangman can be read as indecisiveness. And this threshold card, right, it's also like this feeling that the time has come, I want to step, I want to do it, I want to, but I'm not sure, but I want to, but it's already... The good news here is that, like, the change is faded, and having Queen of Wands as a conclusion of this part of your path, right? it could be maybe even one of the best cards to have in this position, because I see this you stepping into your power. You're stepping into the power of the main character. Actually, exactly in this deck, this Queen of Wands represents the main character. For example, as Naruto from Naruto, Natsu from Fairy Tail if you're into anime, the main character who is inspired, who is passionate, and who never give up going towards their dream. It's like fireball, obviously with Queen of Wands, right? That represents fire. The inspiring leader, someone who has the luck of the world in their hands. This is what you're going to in this option. And then option number 2 we have in the beginning, 7 of Pentacles. In the middle we have 2 of Wands and the Moon. And closer to the end, the Star. With 7 of Pentacles, I feel that this option started with the patience, actually, with the feeling that like you should be patient, you should continue working, you should continue doing your thing, and you cannot actually do anything to make yourself grow faster or be bigger, in a way that bigger means more successful, right? So it's like, it's not, sometimes you were telling yourself, or you can tell yourself that you're doing everything right, but sometimes you can experience this anxiety that maybe I'm not doing everything right? Because maybe I can do something more, but you understand that you cannot actually, the situation is like this, and you will, like, that's what you have to do. But again, it's more like patience. With the Moon and the 2 of Wands in the middle here, more uncertainty comes into play. The 2 of Wands could represent the open gates, but then on the other side, 2 of Wands could represent 2 different passionate desires that you could have experienced in the middle of this path, and like how to choose the path towards your success. Would one be right or the other would be right? And the Moon represents here this indecisiveness, because even again in this deck, the Moon represented by archetype of tsundere, and tsundere basically means this character usually acts as if they don't give a shit, while actually they really love someone or something. They are really passionate about it, right? So we usually see these 2 faces of a character during the story. Well, on the first side, they're so rough and so confident in absolutely everything that they do, but then later in story, we find their weaker side, vulnerability, and we understand that they're playing hard just because they're so vulnerable, actually, right? So, and having 2 of Wands again, right? There's 2 options here. I can see that in the middle of this option, of this path, this experience of being torn apart by 2 different desires, as you think that this is 2 different things, while actually in reality they are based on the same idea, same desire, maybe desire for success here. And if you don't have enough psychological instruments or skills how to be compassionate towards yourself, if you're judging yourself for absolutely every action, then experiencing these 2 different energies could be extremely difficult for you. Because when you in the middle of the process of this, like you're making a decision, you're trying to make a decision, but you're already judging yourself for both decisions because you're already imagining how everything will turn bad, this could be very difficult and very tiring. And if you have some illusions about yourself, about how amazing and cool you are, how strong and talented you are, this ego crown could also make bad things with you in a way that it could be difficult for you to choose lesser option, while even you think with your heart, you feel with your heart that this is a good option, you want to take it. If you have your ego crown that telling you that you are much better than this, you might understand what could happen. In the end of this path, we see the star. We see this calmer sea after the storm happening. We see this acceptance of new trust, of new hope happening here. Definitely emotions change towards bigger acceptance of your own emotions, having this water here on this card. I feel that closer to the end of this path, you experienced this reborn effect, being fresh and new and being much calmer than you were before. Very good work with ego happened. A lot of past traumas were healed, connected to self-image, connected to self-efficiency. All of those lessons were healed on this part, or will be. It depends. And I want to take 3 more cards from the Chakra Oracle deck to see what suggestion Spirit has for you right now, exactly today. They could be connected to all of this information or could not. And we have right action with third chakra, dreams with the throat chakra, I think, yes. And interference with third eye chakra. Why I'm so slowly reading chakras? Because this deck has different color coding, unfortunately. So, right action, dreams, and interference. With dreams and interference, and to be honest, with right action also. So, be careful, be more mindful, watch out for your dreams. In your dreams, you might experience higher interference. If you have labradorite at home, please put it under your pillow. It can help open your third eye, and it could force you to have lucid dreams, right? I see here that the right action, knowledge about the right action will come you in your dreams, or it will feel as interference from the outside. You might see some sign, you might hear some words, and suddenly the spark of understanding, this is the right action, this is the right answer, here it is, I feel it. And you need to feel it inside your heart. It's like, usually when we dream, we just know something in this dream. There is no evidence for it, but we're like, yeah, I know that this is happening like this. I hope you understand me right now. And we just take it for granted because during our dreams, we usually don't really control ourselves, right? So I feel that when you experience this sparkle, this must be it. You have to trust into this moment. This is really important. And dreams definitely contain a lot of important information for you right now. And if you experience problems with sleeping, maybe very good option for you right now could be to work on your dream patterns, on your sleep patterns, and to help yourself to literally just sleep better. Even this physical action, physical help, could really strengthen your sense of self and sense of the true choice inside you. I hope that was really interesting for you. As for me, group number 3, thank you so much for being with me. Comment down below again the candle emoji if you're here, and I'm going to see you in the next readings. Bye!